Yes. Hi everyone. A very good evening to all of you. I hope that I'm clearly audible to you guys. Can you please just respond in the chat? Hi everyone. A very good evening to all of you. I hope I'm clearly audible to you guys. Can you please confirm? Pankaj, Krishna, Uma, Pragyan, Vishwas, Vijayshri, Priyadarshini. Yes, perfect. Great. So very good evening to all of you and welcome back in this session. I hope that all of you are doing good and you must be having a good weekend also. So I hope that you are also practicing on every day. So uh, I hope that you are also putting extra effort and understanding the concepts very clearly, right? In case you are having any kind of doubt, any confusion, just please let me know, okay? Right? So just give me 1 second and we'll start. Yes. So I hope that all of you are good. So these are the topics that we have to cover in this session, right? We'll be starting with the first class and higher order functions first of all. Then we'll be talking about few more functions which are there, like we have map, filter, reduce, okay. And then we'll be talking about pure functions also and immutability, depends upon the time that we are having. But I hope that we'll be able to cover all the things in today's session, and I hope that all of you are good to learn. And so let's start with the topic first of all, right? So I would like to start with the very first thing which is available to us. I'll explain in I'll explain it with the help with the theory first of all. Then we'll also going to do it with the help of few examples in the HTML that we have to cover in this session, right? Okay, perfect. So if we'll first of all talk about that what are functions and what are these first class and higher order functions, what are they, what is the role, what is the purpose of all this. So let's first try to understand and then we'll move to that. Okay, so in JavaScript, when we talk about functions, they are treated like values actually. When I mean to say values, means they actually hold some of the key values that we talk about. They are specifically treated like we have some variables that we store in some of the variables. These values we are talking about. So in JavaScript, functions are actually treated like values. This means the functions can be stored in variables. That's what I was saying. Like we have the variables in which we store different values like integer, float, right? String. There are so many values. So in JavaScript, these functions are also treated like values which can be stored in variables, which can be passed as argument to the other functions, and which can be returned from the other functions also, which can be returned from the other. Like we return the value also. We write a function and we want a function to return some of the values also. That is also possible that we return the functions from the other functions also. So this feature is known as first class citizenship. Okay. This feature is known as first class citizenship. Now, why it matters in this? Because this makes the JavaScript highly flexible and powerful, enabling the functional programming patterns. Like we talk about callbacks, we talk about higher order functions, we talk about function composition, and so many things. So in JavaScript, first class functions, or we'll say citizens, they can be assigned to variables, they can be passed in arguments, and they can be returned from the other functions also, right? So that is the very good thing about the first class functions we talk about. And higher order functions, if we'll talk about, yes, they take one or more functions as an argument, and they can be returned as argument also. This is why we call as a higher order function, right? So these are the two things that we are having first of all. first class citizen, first class functions, which can be assigned to variables, pass as an argument to other functions, and return from other functions. Whereas higher order functions we talk about, they either take one or more function as argument or return a function. Either they do one or one of the thing only, right? Either they take one or more functions as argument, or either they return a function. That's all they do, right? So this is what the purpose for which we use that. I hope that theoretically this is fine. So let's try to understand it with the help of an example that we would like to execute in this class. So let me just save the file as 25.html, and we'll be writing the HTML syntax and we'll be moving it with the first topic implementation, that is first class functions or first class citizens, right? This is similarly for this, we are expecting to write script here, right? In which we are going to write the example that we like to implement into this class. The very first thing I want to do is I want to assign a function as variable in the variable. Okay, I want to assign what I want to assign the function to a variable. Okay, because I told you guys that a function is like a value, that means it can be assigned to a variable also. So what I want to do is I want to write a function. That's how we write with a definition, and we write a argument also, right? Then we are expected to write the body of this function. Okay, in the body of the function, right, Madhu? Yes, we can expect it to return some of the value also, right? Obviously, that's our choice, whatever we want. Okay, so let's suppose I want to return it like hello, and I want it to return some name, and for this I am writing here is dollar bracket name, and I want it to execute, right? Okay, so this is a statement which I've written hello comma. I could have written my name also, that's fine, but this is a string in which I want to print our name, right? And if any of the argument I'm passing here like name, if I'll just want it to return double quotes, simply write return double quotes hello Prabjot. That's fine. In a string, we can assess this data, right? There is no problem in that. Okay. But the point is, I want to assess my variable inside a string. But if I write name here in double quotes, it is going to print exactly the same thing. That is one of the reason we want to print here the name of my parameter. This is reason we want to assess it using the dollar. And with the dollar, we have to put the curly brackets also. But this entire thing, then I need to put in the single quotes. Okay, that is what I'm using, which is available to us. Now with this, I will be able to print the name of the variable, which is available to us. I want it to return. So this function is going to return me some value, and that value I'm going to assign a variable. So I would like to assign this function to a variable. So I'm creating that. Let's suppose I'm creating with the name as greet, right? So this is, we have created a function that is returning me something, and I'm assigning it to a variable, and the variable name is greet. Okay, this is what we are talking about. And after that, I would like to print on the console.log what I want to print. I would like to print here the name of this variable, right? But again, obviously, I cannot simply just say that greet, right? Okay, because this is being treated as a function now. Okay, that holds some value. So I need to call it actually, right? With the name. Okay, and what's the name? Any name that you can put. Let's suppose I'll put here Prabjot. Okay, so now what will happen? This greet is been called, which is a function, right? Okay, right, Madhu? Perfect. So the Prabjot will go in that, and this function is going to return me hello and my name, that is Prabjot, which is there. Okay, so this is, we are assigning a function to a variable. This is what we are doing. We are assigning a function to a variable, right? So let me just try it out. Open in the browser. Let me share my screen with you guys. I hope that it will print, but let's check it first of all. Let me inspect. Go on the console, and it is printing me hello Prabjot. Perfect, right? This is what we have done in this example, assigning a function to a variable, right? Assigning a function to a variable. Okay. There are few other things that we can also do. Passing the functions as argument also. Okay. That's also we can do. So if we have to pass this as an argument, yes, we need to create a function, obviously, right? So let me just write a function here, function, and we have to write the name also of the function, right? Let me say this is greet underscore name. Okay, just giving the name, nothing else I'm doing, right? And here I'm going to pass two arguments in that. One I'm putting as fn and one I'm going to put it as name. Okay. Okay. This fn, that argument, and one is name. Now I want it to do what? I want it to return console.log and I want it to return fn. So here what I'm doing, I'm treating fn as a function. And this is my variable. So I'm passing the function inside a function, right? So what I'm doing, I'm passing the function inside a function. Is it okay? Right? And that I'm going to call. So when I'm going to call this function, let's suppose I have to call my function greet underscore name. I'll be passing two arguments in that, right? So one we have is fn and one we have is name. Now that is my variable which I'm going to pass. Let's suppose Prabjot I'm writing. And there I'm passing my function and the function is greet that we have already created, right? So I'm now doing what? I'm passing a function inside a function now as an argument, right? So this is what our example is where we are expecting it to print hello. So we are expecting it to what? It to call this function and create that. And now it is going to call. I hope that we are expecting the same we are expecting the same results output here also in this case, right? I hope Mayur, right? No problem, Bobby. It's totally fine. No issues. Is it okay? Are we getting the same output for this also? Yes, Madhu, please tell me what is your doubt? We have to write fn with the parenthesis right in argument. Sorry, where you are talking about? This fn, we have to write fn with parenthesis right in argument. No, 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 there is no need to do that. Why you have to write it with parenthesis? Which line you are talking about? Can you tell me in which line you are talking about? Line number 16. Yes, yes, this is my function now, Mayur, right? Madhu, sorry. My function is greet underscore name, right? I'm passing two arguments now. One is this in which I'm going to call pass my function. And one is my variable, right? Variable, so it can be anything. It doesn't matter. Is it okay? Maybe I could have pass here is run also, na? Okay. I could have passed here name underscore one also, na? That's my variable again, right? Okay. And this is the argument in which I'm passing my function and my function name is greet. That is where I'm passing here. Is it okay, na? Is it fine? that is going to be inside the parenthesis only. There is no need to use this. But how is it going to work then? I don't understand what you are saying. But without this, how is it going to work? In fn, like how you are going to call this? How you are going to call greet function then? If you are passing here, then mic access. Yes, Madhu.
सर यहाँ पे अब जो एच एन लिखा है ना।
हाँ, मैंने
सर आवाज
एचएन
आ
कर
रही है?
लिया, एफएन ही कर लो आप, कोई
हाँ
इशू नहीं है।
सर, यहाँ पे जो एफ एन लिखा है ना, ये तो कोई वेरिएबल भी हो सकता है ना, जब हमें फंक्शन यूज करना है तो विद इन पैरेंथेसिस के साथ यूज करते हैं ना।
इसको फंक्शन को।
हाँ,
तो एफएन में बच्चे क्या आ रहा है? ग्रीट फंक्शन ही आ रहा है ना।
तो सपोज ग्रीट फंक्शन। सर,
ग्रीट फंक्शन तो हमने पहले बच्चे बना ही रखा है, ये देखो। तो मैं अगर उस फंक्शन को कॉल करूंगा तो ऐसे ही करूंगा ना।
सर सपोज ग्रीट फंक्शन में हमें दो आर्ग्यूमेंट्स होगा तो तब कैसे होगा नेम,
तो
मतलब कैसे
देन
पास करेंगे उस वेरिएबल को।
ये देखो, मैंने 3 वेरिएबल ले लिए।
हाँ,
नेम अंडरस्कोर 2 ले लिया मैंने। तो मेरे पास एफ एन होगा। तो मैं उसमें
हम्म,
नेम_1 कॉमा नेम_2 कर दूंगा ना। बट उसके लिए इसमें भी तो 2 आर्गुमेंट्स होने चाहिए मेरे पास। इजंट इट?
हाँ यस सर।
नेम1, राइट?
यस सर।
तो हेलो दिस डॉलर नेम1 नेम_1। सी, आप फंक्शन को ही कॉल कर रहे हो ना। इवेंचुअली दिस इज नथिंग, जस्ट द सेम थिंग दैट यू आर टॉकिंग अबाउट,
यस सर।
राइट? यू सी, सेम थिंग, फंक्शन एंड आर्गुमेंट्स। बट फंक्शन को तो आपको पैरेंथेसिस के साथ ही कॉल करना पड़ता ना। एफ एन इज नथिंग, जस्ट माई ग्रीट फंक्शन। नेम_1 इज नथिंग, जस्ट माई प्रभजोत, comma name_2 is nothing, just the same process I'm doing here na, with the same thing.
यस, यस सर।
Is it okay?
थैंक यू। यस सर।
Is it fine? Perfect. Yes, any other doubt to anyone else? Okay, now similarly we have higher order function also, right, that we talk about. Now that function is going to do what? They either take one or more function as argument, or they return a function. Okay, this is what it does. So how we are going to understand this with an example? Let me create a new file, .html. Okay, so that is higher order functions, right? And we are going to write the script. Okay, so for this, let me just create a function multi. Okay, that I just wanted to multiply something, and let me do is what? Let me pass here one value. Okay, that will take some value. I wanted to return. I wanted to return mm, again a function that will have some number. Okay, right? I wanted to return number multiply by value, semicolon. Okay, this is what I'm writing. So I need to call that also. That is, I am going to call my multi function. Let me pass here value as 10, semicolon. Let me store it in some variable constant, and Let me just take the variable name as double. Now I have to call double also again, right? Console.log double. Mm, and in that I also need to pass a value. Let's suppose I'll pass it 5, right? Now you see what I'm doing in this example. Okay, Madhu, right, everyone? I've taken a function with the name multi and I'm passing one of the argument in that, right? That is value. I want it to return another function. Is it okay? I want it to do what? Return another function. And the function will also take one more parameter. And that is returning me this value multiplied by the value which I'm passing in the that multi, right? Okay. This is what we are doing. So when I'm going to call the multi, the 10 is going to pass in this value and this entire function will be stored in the double. Okay. That means double variable will have another function, this. So I'm going to call the double function now. That means 5 will pass to this now. In the 10, in the value we have 10. That is what we are expecting it to do, right? So we are expecting the output as 50 if I'm not wrong. Let me open in the browser and let me share my screen with all of you so that we can understand that what we are expected. So sharing my screen. Yeah. I hope it's visible to you guys. Can you see that? Is it okay? So we are getting the result as 50, right? This is what we were expecting it to achieve. So in this example, we are saying that these are higher order functions in which we have done what? We have created a function and that is returning another function. Is it okay? That is doing what? That is returning us another function in this example. I hope it's fine, easy to understand with all of you. Is it okay? Yes, Madhu, is it okay? Easy to understand? Yes, others, is it fine? Can you please give me a response in the chat? Okay, perfect. Now the next thing that we are going to talk about is the three important functions which are there, which are inbuilt functions actually. Okay. Sorry. So we have three functions which are there: map, filter, reduce, right? Now let's try to understand first of all what is the purpose of all these functions and what actually why actually we use that. It's important to understand. So we have three important functions which are there. One is map, one is reduce, one is filter. And the purpose of map function is to transform each element, right? Filter function is to select the elements which match a certain condition, and reduce is to combine the elements which are there, okay, or accumulate, we'll say that. When I say map, that means we want to transform the elements which are present in there, or we have some data which is given to us, okay, right? Okay, first of all, if I'll ask you very simple thing, let's consider that if I say to you guys that I have some data which is available, let me first of all save this file. If I'll say to you that I have some data which is there, let me write a script. Let's suppose I'll say I'll define a variable constant and I have some value 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Is it okay? Let's suppose I have this data. Now I want you to do what? I want you to multiply each number with the 2. Can you tell me what you will do? Simple, very simple question which I want to ask you guys. I want to multiply each element with the value 2. I want to multiply each value with the like number 2. Can you tell me what you are going to do? You will assess each element, reverse each element, and you will multiply, right? Good, Madhu. Very good, Bobby, right? But I'm going to tell you one way with which you don't need not to use a loop. And you need not to use traverse each element, right? Consider that I have this constant which is available to me in which I have stored some of the data, right? Now, what I'm going to do on this name, I'm going to apply map function. Okay, everyone, right? What I'm going to do, I'm going to apply map function. Now, map function is going to do what? It is, I'm defining one variable, arrow, and I'll say number multiplied by 2. This is what I'm going to do, right? Okay. So now what it is going to do, this is my map function, and in that I'm writing a function actually. The function which I want to apply on each element of this, you can say array which is available to us, right? So it is going to automatically traverse each element of this array, take this number, like 1, it is going to multiply it with the 2 and store in the same variable, right? Now that will again create an array. So for this, obviously, I need to do what? I need to create another array that is going to store the data here, right? Okay, let's suppose I'll say mul. Okay, any variable name you can take. That's totally fine, right? So now I need to do what? I need to print console.log and I will be printing this. Okay, can you please check? Are we getting the output? Can you please check, everyone? Are we able to get the output? Are we getting the output? Perfect. That's great. So we are expecting to have 2, 4, 6, 8, and 10. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. Right? I hope it's very easy to understand, right? Now you have any data, you need not to apply any loop. You need not to use traverse. You can simply apply map function and you can do even anything in that case. Is it okay? Like you can even do multiply of each number, right? We'll expect here 1, 4, 9 square of the number, right? We'll get the square of the number, okay? 16 and 25 in that case, right? I hope it's very easy to understand. You can perform any operation in that case. Is it okay? Easy to understand? Can you do one thing? I'll give you one question. I'm giving you a data like 100, 200, 300, 400. Write a logic to find 20% of each data. Okay. Each value. Do you understand what I'm saying? Write a logic to find 20% of each value. Like, what is 20% of 100? I think that will be 20. 20% of 200, that will be 40. 20% of 300, that will be 60. Is it okay? Do you understand that? 20% of 400 is 80. So I'm giving you 5 minutes to write a logic for this map function, and then we'll move to the second function that we are having, is the filter function. Is it okay? Right? I want you to write a logic for the same. Can you do that, everyone? Madhu, Bobby, is it okay for you guys? Perfect. That's great. Okay. So I'm giving you 5 minutes till 9:10. Just write a simple logic. You can do changes in the same function. I guess so. I hope you know what you have to do. You have to multiply it with what? And you will get your answer, right? Perfect, Madhu, Bobby. That's great. Very good. I hope it's very easy to understand. You can simply do it 0.2 also. Is it right? Is it okay? Perfect. So let's move to the second function that we have to do is the filter function. Okay. So in the filter function, what we are expecting to do, we are expected to apply the filter function to match any condition, right? Let's consider a scenario that I am considering an array again, having some data 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I want you to find out even numbers. Okay. Do you know how can you check that whether the number is odd or even? I think again for that you have to apply the loop, if I'm not wrong, right? But we are going to apply the filter function directly. Can you tell me the logic to find out whether a number is even or odd? How you can find it out? Do you know the logic? How to check a number is odd or even? Perfect. If you divide the number by 2 and the remainder is 0, right? So I'm going to apply my filter function. I'm defining a variable and I'm saying number percentage remainder equals to 0, right? Comparison we are doing. Is it okay? And let me define a variable and I'll say values. Is it okay? So if you're going to print on console.log values, I think you will expect you will get your answer. Is it okay for all of you? Perfect. Is it okay? Easy to understand? Madhu, Bobby, others, like other 10 participants which are there. Perfect. Great. I hope you got your answer right. So you need not to use loop in that. We are matching a condition and we got that. Now there's another function that we use, that is reduce function. Okay. That we use to do what? To combine the data. Okay. Or accumulate. Is it okay? So let's try to understand with the example. Similarly, I'm defining constant. Let me define some a name as numbers. Let me have 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. I hope we are doing simple examples that are easy to understand this function. Once you understand that, you can apply any logic in that. Okay. So this is my array which I want to reduce. Okay. Now, what do you mean by reduce? Or if I'll say combine, I want to combine the elements. Let's suppose map and filter. बॉबी मैप का मतलब है मुझे हर वैल्यू के ऊपर कुछ अप्लाई करना है, बट फिल्टर में तो हमने कंडीशन डाली ना. मधु, filter function we are using to do what? We are using for the purpose of मैचिंग अ कंडीशन ना. लाइक ये हमारे पास नंबर्स हैं जिसमें हम कोई कंडीशन अप्लाई करना चाह रहे हैं ना. कंडीशन जैसे आई वांट टू प्रिंट ओनली द एलिमेंट्स विच आर इवन एलिमेंट्स, राइट. तो हमने क्या किया, हमने मैप नहीं किया ना, हमने फिल्टर किया, हमने कंडीशन लगाई. मैप से हम कंडीशन नहीं लगा सकते ना. मैप से हम कोई लॉजिक अप्लाई कर सकते हैं, कोई चीज अप्लाई कर सकते हैं किसी के ऊपर, लाइक किसी को मल्टीप्लाई करना है, डबल करना है, वट एवर, राइट. नंबर के ऊपर वी कैन चेंज. But here we are applying a filter on the entire data, right? Now I want to reduce. For example, I want to find what, like I want to find what is the sum of all elements. I want to find what is the sum of all elements. So in that case, आपको तो एक एक करके value उठानी होगी. Like you will get 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4. That's again for which you have to use loop. Now I do not want to use a loop, right? In order to do sum of two numbers, I hope you remember you do two things. You first of all define a variable sum equals to 0 and using the loop, okay, like for loop. Then you do what? You take each number and add it with the given sum and assign to the again sum, if I'm not wrong, right? ऐसे करते हैं हम लोग. You define a variable sum, you apply a loop, you take first number one by one, 1 plus 0, that is 1, right? Then you store in the same sum. Then loop will again start, number 2 will come. Then it will have 2 plus 1, 3. That will store in the same variable. Then number 3 will come. 3 plus sum is 3. That becomes 6 now. Store in same variable. Then plus 4. 4 plus 6, 10. We are expecting the 10 result. This is how we do, if I'm not wrong. Agree with that? Do you understand what I'm saying? So we want to achieve it without the variable for loop. So for this, we are going to use two things in the reduce function. Okay. We are going to use two things. One I'm using here is accumulator, which is nothing, just my sum. Okay. Sum variable. And I am taking one variable to traverse, which is my current, nothing else. Okay, ji. This is what I'm using. So what I'm going to do, accumulator plus current. This is what I want to do, which is nothing, sum plus number. Okay. Same logic we have used. So this function is going to help us in combining all the elements. because this is my accumulator also. So for this, I need to assign zero value also. Otherwise, it will remain undefined. This is second argument I'm passing as comma 0. Is it okay? Because this is my first argument in which I'm writing this entire function reduce, and I'm assigning the value first of all as 0 because currently it is 0. And what I will do, I'll assign a variable as a total. Is it okay? So on the console.log, I'll be printing my total here, right? I hope that all of you would have got the answer, right? Is it okay? Can you please just confirm? Is it okay for all of you? Do you understand that? Is it working for all of you? Bobby, Madhu? Yes, Madhu, I can explain. Madhu, if I'll say you have to do is what? You have to do sum of all the numbers. How you are going to do? You'll be using for loop, na? You will be defining one variable to traverse. And you will be also defining one variable sum and assigning 0 to that, right? And using this, you will be writing sum plus I, and you will be assigning to the same variable to store the entire data in the same variable, if I'm not wrong, right? So once you're going to traverse this I, that will be 1. So the first thing you got 0 plus 1, and you will get total as 1. That will store in the sum variable, right? Next time I will go to 2. You will have 1 plus, you will have what? Then you will have sum is 1, new value of I is 2, and that will become 3. Next case, next value is 3. That will be sum is 3. You will add and it will become 6. And next sum is 6. The next value of I is 4 and you will get 10. This is how you do and assign to the same variable if I'm not wrong. Right, Madhu? So in this, what we are doing, you see same thing. I'm using a reduce function. This accumulator is nothing, just my sum variable. Is it okay? This accumulator is nothing, just my sum variable. And this current is nothing, just my I. Right? Can you see that? So we are using this accumulator, this current, and I'm doing same thing, sum plus I, accumulator plus current. And the first value of accumulator I'm assigning as 0. Okay, this is what I'm doing, right? I hope that we have got the results with this. Okay, so in the future, we need not to apply loop or do something. We can, if I want to match any condition, I'll use printer. If I want to apply any logic on my data, I will use map function. If I want to combine the data, I will use reduce function. I hope it is fine and easy to understand with everyone present in the class. Is it okay, all of you? Is it fine? Perfect. And we have the last thing that we have got for today's session. Let me just create a file. Let me save it, the file. Okay. Pure functions we'll be talking about, right? This is the logic we are having. Is it okay? Yes. Is it fine? So next thing, just 1 second, guys. Yeah. So the next thing that we want to talk about is pure functions and immutability. Okay. Now this is what we need to talk about. Pure functions, immutability. What are these? Okay. Now when it say pure function is the one which has same input and same output. Okay, everyone. Very simple thing. Okay. And it has no side effect, right? One important thing. Pure function is the one which have same input, same output that you will give. Okay. Impure function is the one which have different output. Okay, everyone. Impure function is the one which has different output. Like very simple example of a pure function. If we'll talk about, let me write a script. Okay, very simple thing that we talk about. Let's suppose I'm having a function add. I'll pass here a comma b, and I want it to return a plus b, right? And what I want to do, console.log, very simple thing, right? Add, I'll pass the value 3 comma 4. Okay, 7. So now what is the purpose of this pure function, right? Like that. So simple function we talk about. So pure function is the one function which return the same output for the same input. It does not modify any external state. It has no side effects. Okay. Is the one function which return the same output for the same input. Okay. But impure, like here, for 3 comma 4, we are expecting it to have 7. It will return us 7 only, right? Pure function. Okay. Pure function, right? But we also have one example of impure function also, right? Which is bad. Let's suppose I'll define a variable count equals to 0, and I'm writing a function here which is increment, and I want it to return count plus plus. Is it okay? I want it to return count plus plus. Now this is going to modify the external variable count that we have defined, because it is going to return, is it going to return me 0? No, it is going to return me 1 in this case. Do you understand what I'm saying? It is going to return me not 0, it is going to return me 1 in that case. Is it okay? And we are going to call this function also, right? So that is now this, if we'll talk about impure function, right? This is what we talk about, which change the output. Okay, everyone, right? Yes, this is what we talk about. And we have immutability also, where we say that data is not mutated, right? Now, when I say mutated, what mutate? Like you might have done Python also, in which you have done as list, right? If I'll say list, the list is mutable. That means we can change. Immutability, we cannot change. We do not modify, right? It always create new. Like tuple is immutable, now. We cannot change the existing tuple. Other, what it can do is it create a new tuple. Very simple. Is it okay? Right? That's what we do. Now, the best example of this we have done. I hope you remember we have created this number and we have 1, 2, 3, 4, right? And then what we have done is we have applied the map function on the same. Agree with that? We have applied map function on my array, right? Number multiplied by 2. Now, what we are going to do? We were creating a new variable, right? Do you remember that? Another array. Now, we are not modifying the previous one. It is multiplying each number by 2, right? Or number by number. But it is not storing in the same array, na? It is creating a new array. Can you see that? So my previous array is still same. My original array is still 1, 2, 3, 4. But the new array double is going to be 2, 4, 8, 2, 4, 9, 16. So the original array remain unchanged and we are creating a new array. That is what we call it as immutability. Instead of modifying the existing arrays or existing object, you return new array. That help us in. Now, what is the purpose of using that, Madhu, right, Bobby? The purpose or benefit is it reduces the bugs. You understand where might be an error, right? It helps us in debugging easily. And it is also one of the reason to use it. It is very easier to use. Okay, yes, it reduces that also. This is the reason we use all these things. I hope it is understand and clear to all the participants present in the class what we have done in this class. Is it okay? So this is the summary that we have done. First class functions, higher order functions, map, filter, reduce, pure functions, and immutability. Is it fine? Is it okay with everyone? Okay, perfect. So I hope that we are good. Let me share all the files with you guys for today's session so that you can practice. I just want, do not message me for the time 1 minute because I am sharing the files. Otherwise, the files will go to one participant only. Okay. Yeah. So can you just please confirm, have you received the files in the chat? Is it okay with everyone? Have you received all the files? Yes, I'll do it by today, Madhu. Okay, just give me 1 day time. I'll do all the things. I'll compile everything tomorrow and we'll send you. Okay, so I hope that's fine. Good to go with the session. Let's wrap it up. So thank you so much for joining. I hope it was a good session in terms of understanding with the examples. So thank you so much. Bye bye. Take care. Good night, and we'll meet tomorrow again. Thank you. Have a good night.